Hi everyone, it's me, Shalina, back for another Tuesday Talks. I hope you're having a great week thus far. So this week I'm actually going to do a follow-up to the Tuesday Talks I did a couple weeks ago when I talked about cryotherapy and intermittent fasting, because as soon as I turned off the camera, I realized two important things that I meant to share that I did not share. So I'll share them today. And I'm not going to do a whole rehash of like what cryotherapy is and intermittent fasting and all that. I'll just kind of jump right in. So first we'll talk about intermittent fasting, which is when you don't eat for some people, what their draconian measures say like 14 hours, but I say even 10 or 12 hours will give you benefits. Anyway, one of the main things that I forgot to talk about is how long it takes us to digest our food and how much energy that takes from our body. So when we're eating something like fruits and veggies, those usually can be digested within an hour, and then root vegetables take longer, and grains take even longer, maybe 1.5 hours. And then cheese can take up to 2.5 hours, depending on the type of cheese. But meat takes a long time. Like beef will take maybe 4 hours. Pork can take up to 6 hours. And depending on your blood type, you might have a hard time with pork. So 6 hours, to burn your food up to get through your digestive system might not seem that bad. But the problem is that's if you're like eating one thing at a time. Most of us don't just eat a meal of like all beef or all veggies or all grains. We combine our food. And even though we might, just based on what we read or try our own personal experience, know that certain combinations of food are not the best for us, most of us don't really worry about food combining. I don't even really much worry about food combining, because typically like the best dinners are a combination of a lot of different things. So like, let's take pizza for example. If you have pizza and you're a person who eats meat and cheese and veggies on their pizza, you've got tomato sauce, which is a fruit, you've got your veggies, you've got maybe pork or some other sort of meat, you have cheese. So all that together, now you can be looking at up to like 12 hours to fully digest your food. So if you come home, you have a late dinner, and then you decide to still watch a movie or something and have an even later snack around 10 o'clock, and you get up and then have breakfast around 7, it's completely likely that you still have not completely fully digested the food you had the night before, which can be, hard on your system. Like our digestive system, for some people, literally never gets a break. It's like it's always working. And so it could be that part of the reason why longevity is associated with extreme calorie restriction and things like intermittent fasting could be because your body has more energy, especially at night, when it's supposed to be healing. It has more energy to actually be doing the repair work and the healing work that we need it to do if it's not busy digesting food. So another reason why intermittent fasting might be something you want to try. So now to cryotherapy, which, quick recap, it's just using cold water or very cold temperatures to foster healing, to boost your metabolism, to lose weight, things of that nature. But one thing I forgot to mention was the different types of fat and possibly the reason why cryotherapy works so well. So there's 2 types of fats. Well, there might be more types of fats. Actually, if you know of another type of fat, let me know. Maybe it's something I'll look up this week. But there's at least 2 distinctive type of fat. There's white fat and there's brown fat. So white fat they call WAT or WAT for short, which is white adipose tissue. And then there's brown fat, brown adipose tissue. And white fat is much more like the fat you'll see, like the marbling on a steak. It's like literally white, just like one drop of fat. And then brown fat has much more iron in it. And brown fat apparently stems, from the same stem cells as muscle tissue does. And brown fat is often called fat burning fat. Like, oh my gosh, who knew there's something called fat burning fat? And what happens is cold stimulates this brown fat to burn up fat to produce excess heat. So brown fat, cold therapy stimulates your fat to burn itself up instead of storing your body, and it burns up fat and glucose. And that's one of the reasons why cold therapy might be something that you want to try. Oh, and then this time I wanted to tell you, a lot of this information I got from this book. It's called The 4-Hour Body by Tim Ferriss. This is like a giant, great tome of a book to add to your research library if you're into things like that. He has a ton of different hacks, and it's all backed up by scientific research about things that you can do to kind of craft your body that are beyond the typical things we've been taught about calories in, calories out, food restriction, because in short, that doesn't work as well as some of the things that they found out. And there's so many more tips in here that I highly recommend. Honestly, I should do a whole series just about books I love, because a lot of good information out there. That's pretty much all I have for this Tuesday Talks. I hope you're having a great week, and I will see you next week. Oh, and if you're following this on YouTube, please like, follow, comment, all that jazz. Thanks. Bye.